The bottom line, there's these choices everybody makes. What they eat, where they look, how they do it, when they do it. In what way do they do behavior? Do they look at the mirror and not make an adjustment? Do they see the camera angle and just leave it ugly? Do they postpone psychological cognition until young people like the kids I nannied for almost 7 years get to be my age? And the world they know has nothing but sadness. The bottom line, I said this to my social worker, bless her heart, bless whoever's heart who decides to use their eyes, to use their behavior, their gesture, their power and their strength from their style and their beauty. To say to a person like me now, to say to anybody, no matter how well the words and language get spoken, no. 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 To eventually reach the end point they're going towards. No. No, 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 no. And then there's the end. Google, Twitter, Facebook, internet, cell phones, radios, televisions, smartphones, entertainment. No bad words. No hands floating in the air like now. Posture. Electric cars everywhere. Less smog. No money, only now. No, 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 no. Voila. I remember in college, the United States Navy recruiter came to my studio downtown. I paid $300 a month and heard people partying all the time. I didn't have a kitchen. I had to use a hot plate that barely worked, and was living there for the price. I was on my own. My mom was recovering from a brain aneurysm that had hemorrhaged. And I had been able to rent, I was fortunate enough to rent the place from a friend. Her name was Maya. And she had gotten the place from a friend, and so I had ended up in a similar process to get the place. And the United States Navy recruiter gave me the test, came over, opened up the laptop, and I did all the work he told me to do. And he started looking at my bookshelf, and immediately I got sweaty, I got scared, and I got terrified. They're gonna drop me right now. I had Che Guevara, revolutionary. I had all kinds of books on there about people from communism and critical theory and philosophy. Not hundreds, but the Che Guevara book especially, I thought, oh my gosh, the United States Navy will never take me as an applicant and let me serve. And I went to the gym anyway, woke up, got a personal trainer, got down to 8 to 10% body fat, 190 pounds, lifting huge amounts of weights. Met a pretty girl along the way and eventually just couldn't keep up the pace and knew there was a problem. Except I never stopped. I kept going. I kept going, working, until eventually there was no place to live. The Great Recession was happening. And I started hanging out with homeless men in shelters and fishermen from Alaska who were on The Deadliest Catch season 2. His name was Ed. And other folks and people. What the bottom line has to do with all of this narrative has to do with not only having the courage to not give up, to not give in to the neighbors hitting my walls and demanding silence like the drug dealer down the street who says, shut the fuck up, who says, you're a bitch, be quiet. What I'm talking about has to do with the requirements to get into medical school now, to go to graduate school now, to get into a classroom, to get certified as a professional neurologist, to be a doctor of neurology. And in order to accomplish this goal and to reach the achievement of medical school, I've got to go to Algebra 1. I've got to go to geometry. I've got to go to pre-calculus. I got to go to trigonometry, and then I got to go to calculus. I've got to go to statistics. I've got to go to biology. I've got to go to chemistry. I've got to go to organic chemistry. I've got to go through so much mathematics, so much memorizing, to simply be able to plead for a seat in a classroom. There was no other choice other than, have you ever made such a sad and disturbing discovery you're willing to hang yourself from a tree or a wall to get out of the suffering? Not everyone who studies neuroscience decides to study psychology and psychiatry and the brain and the mind and the body, and especially the world. They like the connectome, they like the synapses, they go to the neurons, they go to the emotions, they go to be a doctor. And unfortunately, I wasn't a pre-med student. I didn't have money to support myself during studying and couldn't keep up with memorizing. Working at Pyramid Brewery, going to community college, and then going to Western Washington University. We're about as extreme as the people who just walk around listening to sound and then leaving and then going to do stuff based on the timing from the noise. These aren't freedom. This now has nothing to do with freedom. The information described now has to do with more monkey, more rat, more pigeon, more dog, more behavior, more control, more restriction, less voice, calmer emotions, and blending in now. I remember studying Frantz Fanon, most notably, who was a psychiatrist in a country I don't remember the name of offhand. And there was a revolution. People flat out said, no, we're not waiting any longer. We're sick of the abuse. We're sick of the racism. We're sick of the bully patrolling the building. Set me free or fucking kill me now. Give me liberty. Give me death. Or come kick the fucking door in next time and not fucking slam it. Because you're fucking overweight and you're fucking crazy. With your stimulus addicted fucking mind and brain and life. A person could just rap about what I've learned, play music and die just so freaking calmly. And people could see food sitting getting cold and be okay. But I don't see the benefit in not explaining the insanity I see not only now, but now, but now, but now, but now, and now, and now, and now. People who smoke, who get more respect than me, sitting down and reading hundreds of pages a day, they believe are the elephant in the room, and tell the neighbor, and they tell the gangster, and they tell the landlord. And the benefit from doing 600 plus videos explaining psychological cognition, rather than waiting to sit down and write something those thuggish, brutal, nasty people could read, has to do with the proof in the pudding. In other words, all of the information and data to decide, am I correct? Wrong? Completely misguided? A question for the world, not for the researcher now. I chose to spend the time explaining my work, giving my notes, sitting through the nasty 60s and 70s music and the smell of some man's tobacco outside my window from someone who sprays perfume all the time because they like techno music and they like staring at consciousness. Doing drugs and being social.